welcome to the Lore of Jason Bright. Jason Bright is not charismatic in the traditional sense. He does not shout, he does not threaten, he does not promise power or land. He speaks softly, as if every word must be treated with care. His body, ravaged by radiation, glows faintly, an accidental halo that only reinforces his image as a holy figure amongst the ghouls who follow him. But Jason wasn't always a prophet. Like many ghouls, his past is fragmented, burned away by radiation and time. What we do know is that he once was human, likely exposed to radiation shortly after the Great War. But unlike feral ghouls, Jason retained his mind, and some would say he retained a purpose. Where other ghouls drifted, Jason interpreted. He came to believe that radiation was not merely survivable, but divine, not a curse, but a refining fire. In his theology, radiation does not destroy humanity, it selects. Those who decay into feral ghouls simply fail the test of divinity. What makes Jason Bright different is not what he worships, but where he intends to go. Before the bombs fell, America was obsessed with space, not with exploration, but with escape. The resource war had begun. Oil was scarce, nations were desperate. The United States knew that Earth was dying long before the sirens went off. Corporations like Voltec, Poseidon Energy, and Repcon Airspace were not just businesses, they were contingency planners. Repcon specialized in experimental parcel systems, including nuclear-powered rockets designed for long-haul travel. Officially, these rockets were meant for lunar missions and orbital platforms. Unofficially, there is a reason to believe they were designed for off-world evacuations. Terminal entries inside Repcon reveal rushed deadlines, unexplained military oversight, and fractured attempts to meet launch windows before the Great War. One engineer mentioned systems being pushed past safety limits. Another referenced payloads that were not rated for civilian transport. Jason Bright speaks of the far beyond with certainty, not imagination. He does not theorize, but he recalls to something far deeper that seems more tangible in a way, shall we say. In the Wasteland, ghouls are known to experience memory differently than normal humans. Radiation has damaged their brains, but it's also altered their perspective. Some ghouls report flashes of the past, voices, images, sensations that do not fully belong to them. If Jason was exposed within or near Repcon during the war, he may have absorbed more than just radiation. He may have absorbed knowledge which was not his. Pre-war scientists, engineers, and military planners worked inside the facility. Their fears, their plans, their half-spoken truths died with them, or maybe they didn't. What if Jason Bright's visions were not divine inspiration, but echoes of these plans, half-truths, and fears of these scientists? In my personal interpretation of Jason Bright and his visions of the far beyond, in my view, Jason is not a prophet receiving a revelation like he tells his followers, but he is a receiver, picking up a signal that the old world never fully finished broadcasting. Jason Bright speaks of a creator, a guiding force that shapes the universe and watches over the faithful. He never defines this being clearly, which has led to many to dismiss this as religious abstractions. But I'm personally not satisfied with this conclusion, because in Fallout, creators, these beings that stand above men, who whisper these strange secrets, do exist. I have a few personal theories which I think could uncover what really is the creator in Jason's view. So let's go over those. The most grounded interpretation is also my bleakest one. In this theory, the creator is not God himself, but a collective of ambitious pre-war humanity. The men and women who reached for the stars, who believed they could outgrow Earth itself. Jason's revenants may stem from a fragmented belief system that humanity was meant to transcend Earth, and the radiation, ironically, was the crucible that made this belief possible. The far beyond, then, is not salvation, it is inheritance, only for those altered enough to survive the journey. The Fallout universe is filled with rogue AIs, Zag supercomputers, military command systems, autonomous overseers designed to manage humanity after extinction. Some were buried, but some may have been launched into orbit. Repcon rockets require guidance systems, long-distance navigation, and mission-critical decision-making. What if one of these survived? What if an AI tasked with overseeing all-field colonization continued its mission long after humanity died? Jason Bright's creator may be a machine interpreting faith as a variable, radiation as adaptation, and the ghouls as valuable candidates. To an AI, this would not be cruelty, but optimization. Fallout's universe already includes phenomena that defies rational explanation. Psychic children, precognitive ability, and eldritch entities hinted in pre-war experiments. Radiation in Fallout is not merely physical, it is metaphysical. It reshapes biology, time, perception, and consciousness. What if the creator Jason speaks of is not human, no machine, but something awakened in the war itself? A consciousness born from nuclear fire, a god formed from annihilation, a being that sees glowing flesh as holiness. In this reading, the far beyond is not a place. It is a realm where physics no longer apply. In Fallout, belief is not opposed to science, it is built on its ruins. The old world believed technology would save it. The new world believes that faith will. Jason Bright merges the two. His religion is not passive, it requires engineering, fuel, and sacrifice. It treats rockets as sacred relics and radiation as communion. In doing so, it mirrors the pre-war mindset more closely than the NCR Doctrine or Legion Creed could ever do. The difference is that Jason does not seek control, he seeks departure. And in truth, I think that's what makes his story, his lore, the far beyond, so fascinating. The Mojave Wasteland is filled with tyrants who promise order, democrats who promise stability, and warlords who promise strength. Jason Bright promises none of these things. What he promises is escape. That alone makes him dangerous. And not because he deceives, but because he reminds the wasteland of something that it lost. The idea that Earth itself is no longer the destination.